What's going on, everyone? This is your boy Rob coming to you from, this may be a little bit of a shock, but I am coming to you from Vegors Cemetery. It's here right in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. Top of a bluff, outside of the Boone and Des Moines River right over here. I just got here. This is a super weird layout cemetery. Like, there's no perfectly, like, it's bizarre. But what makes this even more bizarre is what had happened up on this area, not too far from here, back in December of 1846. Not 1946, 1846. Clear back in the day. This one's a gnarly one. I've been wanting to come to this cemetery for a long time. This is a crazy story. So I make my way to the monument that is right over there behind you guys, I'm going to tell you the story of this family that moved to the area to make settlement. It's called the Lott family. Henry and Sally. I hope Henry was right. I know Sally is. Anyways, so they get here. Long story short, he wasn't a very good dude. And what he was doing is basically he was trading with the locals. He was doing the normal thing that you should as a settler, just trading with your neighbors and stuff like that. Well, what he was doing is he was trading, and then he would go behind their back, and then he would steal things back, including horses, and then he would go and sell the things. He would go down the river, he would go down to the local fort and any other towns and settlers and whatever, and he would sell stuff. He'd come back, and he'd do it again. And he'd do it again, and he'd do it again. So anyways, locals got a hold of that and figured out what he was doing. And needless to say, they were not very, very happy about what he was doing. So in December 1846, they decided to pay a visit to his house. Well, when they got there, he wasn't there. Sally was. Also one of the children. There might have been two children, but I can't remember. There's different variances of the story. It's kind of loosey-goosey, but we know for a fact that she was there and one of the kids was there. Now, when they paid a visit, he wasn't there. They weren't leaving without something. So basically, they tore the house inside out. They were getting stuff back, and they weren't leaving without something happening. And unfortunately, Sally was the only one. One of the kids did escape, was running and trying to find Dad. Could you imagine running like in the middle of all of Iowa in December with like hardly any like winterized clothing and stuff like that? I couldn't imagine. It blows my mind. But anyways, Sally, she took a brunt of it, and she took a lot from these guys, and basically she kind of succumbed to the end of their wrath, if you will. So, not good. And basically right here is a marker for Miss Lott. And I'll come in a little closer, and we'll see that Miss Lott died in January, so it was the very, very end of December when the raid happened, and a few days later they think that she probably passed, probably the 1st or 2nd. But you also notice it says 1849, so there's debate. Was it 1849 or was it 1846, 1847? There's a lot of speculation of when it actually took place and when it happened. Nobody really knows exactly. And then also on top of that, another like just kind of bizarro-ness of it, she's not even buried here. According to some people, like she's buried up here somewhere. Probably not here though. I've actually looked around too, seeing any other lots, because I know one of the childs had passed away. He froze to death. I can't find him. But I will say there are a bunch of markers that are just, I mean, they're in the ground. They're just like, you can't even read them. They're so just wore out and just weathered big time. Side note, I got to show you this one because this one's pretty rad. But one of the other markers that's kind of known up here is this gentleman right here, Benjamin Bell. He died in 1853, aged of 102 years old. And what it was is because he's a revolutionary soldier from Iowa. It says PA militia Revolutionary War. So yeah, he served in Pennsylvania, but then after that he come to Iowa and lived to be 102. That's incredible. That blows my mind. That's so cool. I'm so glad that they like redid all this and stuff. That's awesome. So yeah, basically after that whole thing, he comes back. He sees what has happened to his wife, child, and all his possessions, and he's mad. Did it to yourself. You legit did it to yourself. But anyways, that's not good enough for him. He decides to go on a warpath, and he did. He went and found all the ones that he was friends with before all this, and he just started just doing the thing. Just do better. Like, you know, history should not repeat itself. Just, anyways, so if you just go online and then you look up this thing called the Spirit Lake Massacre, it's a very well known Iowa thing that happened, and it caused a whole entire thing. And the reason that thing started was because of this thing, what this guy did right up here, somewhere in this area. Yeah. So, but I'm not done. There's a little bit more. So the other thing with this cemetery, what makes it kind of like a thing, is because it's apparently super jacked with paranormal. And well, the reason is because, I mean, it's got this really like rich history of this conflict that had happened and all this stuff. But on top of that conflict was also this conflict. And basically, if you read it, it's the most northerly of the 5 Indian mounds in this cemetery. So if you look, you can see like a mound there, and you can see like another one clear over there. And like, you just kind of have to picture this was a cemetery before the settlers even got here. So when they started digging holes and putting their kin in, well, they were finding others that were already up here long before they came. And so this is one of the handful of cemeteries, maybe the only one in the state of Iowa that I know of, that you have settlers and you have Native Americans that are buried together. I do know of one other one. It's super low key. Most people don't know about it, but I do. Weird, right? But yeah. So apparently you come up here at night, which I don't suggest. It's not my thing. I don't do night cemetery things because this is a place of rest, of peace. But there's some super jacked up stuff, I guess. Orbs and hearing chants and growls and just like an array of weirdness up here. So come to the cemetery, check it out. This is a weird, creepy, cool cemetery. This is awesome. I'll check you guys on the next one. Hope you have a good one.